with me. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
working out of my bedroom right
Well,
now.
we're live right now, so hold on 1 second. Hey, it is time to go. Whether we're ready or not, it is the Homebuyer Seminar Wednesday afternoon. We do this every week, either 5 o'clock like today, most of the time, sometimes 4 o'clock, depending on how we go. And in the past, we had a third member of our team, and
Mhm.
he's gone ahead and got promoted. Company hired him in a management position. So thanks for all your support, guys. You helped him so much that he's moved on to bigger and better things. And but we're still
That's
here for
right.
you. We love you. We're here to help. I'm here, Bill Gross, along with my colleague.
Patricia Castillo.
And here we are, Patricia, you and me.
That's right. Maybe we'll have Gustavo on as a guest one day. But yes, he's gone on to take on a marketing position. And so we wish him the best and we'll miss him every week. But, I think right now is a really good time to just talk about people that are in the business and maybe shifting positions, right? So I know I've had talked to a lot of different lenders, and real estate really fuels a lot of business towards a lot of different vendors, whether they're home inspectors, insurance agents, handymen, lenders. I mean, there's so much opportunity that comes out of being in real estate. And as a realtor, I get so many calls every week from different people that are looking for business, even house cleaning services. They've called me to ask me about hiring them to clean out another house that I may be needing to haul out trash. So it's important to stay in touch with those connections, because some of the people that you may work with on a daily basis, they may end up shifting positions and going to work for a different company. So if you are in the process right now of, maybe you were looking for a property, you had a loan approval a month or two ago, you really want to update that, stay in touch with your lender, make sure that they are still in the same lending position that they were before in loan origination. Because right now, the way the market is, it's a little tough, and some people may be shifting positions and pivoting at this time, so just want to make sure that whoever it is that you were working with before, they are still in the same capacity.
So true what you said. And there's a lot there to unpack. Different ideas you had. One is we have so many different businesses that we interact with, and
Mhm.
I know I've been getting phone calls more than ever from termite companies and remodeling companies and design
Right.
companies and staging and photos and stuff. And so part of that's people working harder to develop business. I think the other
Sure.
thing I would say is that in a market where there's less business, there's more competition. There are people who will take deals they shouldn't take because they're desperate, and it's really important more than ever take a little extra time to vet people, make sure you get the right person to help you, whatever that is. I know that's true for me as an agent. I had a case where I needed an agent to help me with something, and I
Mhm.
went through the system we have and kind of contract with one to do some work,
Right.
and she just totally flaked. And the answer is she
Oh,
flaked because she has another job and she has family issues, and she shouldn't have taken the contract. And I've learned my lesson, which is really dig in deeper and really find out what's going on with them. And I ended up re-interviewing 5 other agents for the job and hired one afterwards who's done a really good job since. So it's
mhm.
really important, whether it be a lender or an escrow or a title. I have a sewage and not sewage, a drainage and a foundation inspection done this week to try to
Mhm.
get as many people possible to interview, because you want somebody who's been in the business a while, knows what they're doing, is going to give you good service.
Right. Yeah, and this is a time when, the market's been a little tough since last year with interest rates going up where they were, and a lot of different real estate professionals that have left the business. So,
Yeah. And are
um,
leaving. That's the other thing is they won't tell you that they're leaving tomorrow, but they might leave tomorrow. And they're having a tough time paying to do the things you're supposed to do. So it's not even just leaving, not left, but even leaving in process.
exactly. And, the other thing I've seen lately is more pre foreclosures starting to come up,
Mm.
because I get those leads every week. Well, actually, every day. And so I will call the homeowners to see if they want to sell before the lender moves forward on any type of notice of sale. And so this is also kind of a bittersweet moment because some homeowners that have been in their homes for many years, they may be up against a financial hardship that causes them to have to sell. And at the same time, it creates an opportunity for buyers that have been looking for properties. Maybe they haven't gotten their offer accepted or they're having to overbid because some areas are still in a multiple offer situation. But this is really that time to talk to agents like myself and Bill because we can find you deals. And I just took a listing 2 days ago for a pre foreclosure in San Bernardino, and it's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It's at a great price, under 400,000, sitting on 2 acres. So this is sometimes, the best time to really secure a property is somebody like a homeowner that needs to sell. You may be the person that's coming in to purchase a property, and the terms are going to be really great. So this is really a good time to talk to agents that are in the business full time and really working in the trenches every day.
Well, and I think, you hit on the head when you say that this is coming on the market now. And I think that the thing I always tell people is it's the best time to do something when it's the best time for you to do something,
Mhm.
right? That the market, if you look at the rates, let me just jump real quick because there's a lot in the news about interest rates and they're up, and I think it scares a lot of people out of it. Rates have jumped up in the last week from 7.14 from 6.9. But if you look at where they're at or where they've been around since the last year and a half, 2 years. It was really in 2022, um, um, yeah, 2022, that for the
Mhm.
last year and, I guess it's 2 years. And the market's been solid since then. Now, the market wasn't as hot as it was 2 years before.
Right.
But everybody who bought property in the last year and a half in
Mhm.
Southern California, the house is worth the same or a little bit more, probably a little bit more. And the key, and I just interviewed a guy who's one of the masters of the world. He buys commercial real estate in West Los Angeles, and any investor will tell you it's hard to buy in West LA because the cap rates, the income rates you get are low compared to the price. Prices are house. If you think houses are expensive in West LA, commercial properties
Mhm.
are ridiculously. When you buy a commercial building in West LA, you're lucky to get 30% financing, not 70% with 30% down. 30% financing, 70% down. And yet he's made money over time. Why? Because prices have done nothing but go up. As he said, they're not building any more land between his properties and the beach. There's no
Right.
more. And
Mhm.
even if you're inland a bit, in Riverside, we're still in Southern California, you benefit from that. That's part of the glow of being in Southern California. So again, I'm not saying it's the right time for you to buy. I'm saying when's the right time for you to buy? Be smart. Get a good price on the property you buy. Get the best loan you can. Pay attention. Get a better rate when the rates jump down. In the long run, you're going to win big as long as you stay within the parameters of what you can afford.
Right. And I think that's the key there is affordability. So don't overbuy. It's so easy to, when you go out and you're shopping for homes and you really get just taken by all of the beautiful finishes and things like that that you see. And sometimes it does seem very appealing to buy a home that's already turnkey, doesn't need any work. You may be paying top dollar for that property versus buying another home that could use a fresh coat of paint, maybe some new flooring. So it's really looking at what your budget is to determine what monthly payment is going to be very comfortable for you. Some of the people that I've talked to in the past came up against a situation where they went into a property together with another family member or a son or daughter, and maybe 5 years later, their son or daughter or co-borrower is looking to get out of that loan, right? Because most people, they can't have two loans under their name. They may not qualify for the second mortgage. So you just want to make sure that if you are going to pair up with somebody to buy a home, it is someone that has the same vision that you do, and it would be long term, right? So if it is going to be somebody from your family, um, they do have to be willing to have that commitment with you, even if it's for 5 years. If they decide maybe in 5 years they're going to buy their own property and move on, then there's going to be either a payout to that person for some of that equity. And you also want to make sure that you can afford that payment on your own if you end up being a sole homeowner rather than a co-homeowner with somebody else.
One of the things I talk about in my podcast, Real Estate Market Update Weekly,
Mhm.
is that there's a lot of, I think, misconceptions about housing affordability. And you said up front that you have to save, and you shouldn't expect to move from an apartment to a house necessarily with a yard and a garage and new, all the benefits that go with that at the same price. Of course, it
Right.
costs more, right? I mean,
Mhm.
if you move from West LA apartment to a house in maybe Ontario or whatever, you move to an area that's less expensive, perhaps. But more than that, I think the thing that gets lost when people talk about affordability is the news makes it like, well, housing isn't affordable. Poor you. No, not poor you. Save money, cut your expenses, put money
Right.
aside, make more money. If you raise your income and raise your down payment money and cut your expenses, you'll be able to afford.
Mhm.
And it's as simple as that. And if you're talking to people and you let people know what you're looking for, then opportunities will come your way. And I will just tell you, first house I ever bought was the best house in that we bought it for 142 and we sold it a year later and made $100,000 on it. And we didn't intend to move our residence, but we bought a house. And a year later, we had a chance to upgrade to the house that I really thought was a house to raise my family in. And we
Mhm.
made $100,000 along the way. Recently
Fantastic.
entered, recently entered escrow on a proproperty
Yeah.
for very little money down that I'm going to make a lot of money on because I talk to people about real estate all the time. And so, for those of you
Right.
listening, talk to your agent, talk to Patricia, let people know what you're trying to do. If you put the
Mhm.
time and the effort in, and you save money and cut your expenses, live frugally. My wife and I, we didn't have cable TV, we didn't have a newspaper in those days. People did. We didn't eat out much. We didn't have much furniture. We bought a house. That was
Right.
important to us, and we made $100,000 in 1980. We bought in 87 and we
Mhm.
sold in 88. So $100,000 in those days today is worth like $300,000 or $400,000. So you
Sure.
can do it too. We're here to help you. If we can help you in any way, that's what we're here for.
I was in high school.
You know,
1988.
I bet you were hot in high school. No, just kidding. My wife's in the other room. I better be careful. Not that you're not hot now. I'm just saying it was a joke.
Yeah, but that's a
Whew.
fantastic example because over time, real estate will, if there's a down market like in 2008 when the housing crisis hit, mortgage crisis, everybody was just abandoning their properties. I mean, there were
Mhm,
foreclosures left and right. So of course,
mhm.
all of the properties were losing value. But since then, the market has rebounded, and every year since then, prices have steadily increased. So,
That's the only time in history in the last 100 years. That's it.
right. And between now and 12 months ago, properties in California have appreciated almost 4%. We're looking at the same forecast for this year as well. Even though rates were higher last year too. People were still buying because buyers need a place to live and a place to raise their families. So it's all about being prepared and just educating yourself on the process, what type of grants are out there right now available for buyers to help pay for closing costs.
Mhm.
Some of the grants that are offered by certain cities, you don't have to repay back. So that's free money that you can use to pay for your title and escrow fees and maybe even a portion of your down payment.
Free money. It's just basically Santa Claus gives you some free money to go buy a house with.
Yeah, this year Christmas can come early for a lot of people.
Well, we're paying for it in taxes, but that's another story. So for you, use the money. At least somebody I work with, I'd love to have a customer who use these programs. I'm paying in taxes, and that's what it's for. I think basically we all realize that homeowners make in general better neighbors than renters, and so we would encourage you to do that. And I will say this: I think increasingly the story we're being told is give up on the dream. It's too hard, or isn't it
Right.
great to rent? And there's nothing wrong with renting. If that's where you're at. But if it's your dream to own a house, don't let anybody talk you out of your dream. We're here to help you. it's being done every day by somebody who pays the price, does the work, and follows through. So, okay, Patricia, last words. I have an open house on a new listing in Riverside. What's going on with your business, and what are the last words for people on today's call?
Well, I just took a new listing. The one that I was sharing earlier, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. It's almost
Mm,
1,700 square feet in San
nice,
Bernardino, and
nice.
it's on over 2 acres. So this property offers two garages. One is attached, one is detached, and a bonus shed. So there's plenty of space for storage. The home has vaulted ceilings. It's just a really nice custom built home. It was built in 1994, so it's only 30 years old, and the entire parcel is fenced in. So, it really adds to that
Wow.
security. Imagine that, right? How often do you hear of a home that's over 2 acres and it's completely fenced in?
I was going to say you could do what there? I don't know if it's horse property or animals or ball field. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities that has.
Right.
I'll just share. I have a new listing that's being held open for the first time on Sunday in Riverside, 5307 El Rio Avenida. And the house is
Mhm.
over 3,000 square feet. It's 4 bedroom, 2 bath. I think it's 3,100 square feet on a 9,500 square foot lot. So a
Oh,
nice
wow.
sized lot.
Riverside has large lots.
I'm sorry.
Mhm. Riverside has large lots.
Well, I live
Mhm.
in LA, so anything over 6,000 is large to us. But yeah, 9,500 square feet, flat lot. And so the prior owner had a bunch of junk back there, but she cleared it out. You could park cars back there. You could put a pool in. You could probably put a tennis court in. You could probably put in a small ball field for your kids. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. You probably could
Right.
build an ADU or two back there. I don't know the laws in Riverside and such, but that's something you look into. It's zoned R2. So again, it has some
Okay.
options. Great opportunity. That's being held open and 10 to 2 on Sunday in Riverside, 5307 El Rio Avenida, listed for only $579 for showings at the open house on Sunday.
That's a great price. And in Riverside, I believe if your lot size is over 7,200 square feet, you can build an ADU. So
There you go.
9,000 would definitely cover it.
There you go. And it's a quiet area, cul-de-sac, great area for that. Danielle, welcome. I see he's watching on LinkedIn. Thank you for the comments and the support. Always appreciate it. And here's Danny Lewing. I believe that's Danny, the VA lender, if I remember correctly. I got his
Oh,
picture
okay.
right. So yeah, so definitely thank you for joining in. Okay, Patricia, thank you so much for your time. And for those of you watching today,
Of
either live or
course.
on the recall. Now, if you watch on the replay, put questions in and we'll pick up those questions later on, as well as join us every week. We do this 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock on Wednesdays based on our schedule.
Yeah.
Patricia, it was fun. Great seeing you. And we'll talk
Thank
soon,
you,
everybody.
Phil. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Danny.